where.
No, I know, but who could trigger them to fire rockets? Because they say they're firing them. I could see a false flag where some Israeli.
I can too. As a matter of fact, Moshe Dayan said Israel will continue to exist by doing exactly creating these false flag situations.
Oh, you think Israel may be shooting the rockets?
Or at least somebody look, as the caller said, it was Israel that created Hamas to be a foil against Fatah, which is the majority party of the Palestine Liberation
PLO, yeah. And for those that don't know, that's in the Jerusalem Post and Haaretz. I mean, we're not, every time I say that, I get mean emails. How dare you say Israel founded Hamas? That's in the Knesset. I mean, that's not debatable. What, 1975?
Right. That's a matter of historical fact.
But see, people hearing this out there, hearing reality, I mean, I don't have some dog in the fight. I don't hate Israel when I tell the truth. I'm reading it out of the Jerusalem Post. I mean,
right. But keep in mind that Israel has been very, very good at doing exactly what we were talking about earlier with GCHQ, using all kinds of tools.
Their system's called Megaphone.
Megaphone and the Hasbara community, right? They can call on to that type of help.
And it's a small political class using instability in Israel to keep control of their population. Sound familiar? Thank you, Kenny. Look, here's where I stand on Israel. It has become a political football issue where you'll get 100 Palestinians that are killed or 5 Jews that are killed, and you'd think it was the end of the world. And it's all anybody talks about. I mean, I think it's an important issue. It's terrible. It's horrible. But it's manufactured compared to everything else going on, is my point. You got 15 million people, the UN admits, they're the ones that got it banned, 15 million people a year that die of malaria. Another 20 million children that starve to death each year. Another 20 million adults or so. You've got ISIS killing 300,000 people in Syria, non-radical Muslims, Shiite Muslims, Alawites, and mainly Christians. And they're doing it all over Iraq right now, funded and armed and commanded by British Special Forces and others. It's all come out. We know the camps where they were trained. I told you this years ago. And my issue is I'm sick of everyone setting my agenda. I mean, you go to the comments on Infowars.com, it's like a battle in there. Israel's perfect. Israel's the devil. On and on and on and on and on and on. And Alex, you know, you work for Israel. Or Alex is an anti-Semite, doesn't like Israel. And my whole issue is, my biggest criticism with some of the Israel lobby is that this is manipulation of our domestic politics. And a lot of the Israel lobby supports socialism, gun control. I don't like foreign governments involved in our policies. That's what I criticize with Israel. The Palestinians, you know, I'm sad for them. They're having a lot of kids, and I don't know how they live in Gaza. I don't know how they live in a desert by a beach. And you notice Egypt won't let them in. You notice Jordan is on the verge of getting overthrown by those folks. So, I mean, it's kind of like Latin America borders. And people say, well, Israel doesn't have a right to exist, blah, blah, blah. Look, I understand it was put in there as a colony and as a military base. It's political by the British Zionist, and their reason was different than the Jewish Zionist. It's a disaster. And my point is, it's not one group in Israel. It's not one agenda. And it's the same thing everywhere else. I mean, you got the Vatican involved setting up the EU, and you've got the EU trying to come into countries and basically restrict what the church can do. It's all these big power structures that get built, and then all these people fight over it. That's my view on it. But I'm just, you know, there's other things other than Israel in this world. Or people that want me to say the Vatican runs everything. Or people that want me to say, I mean, I just criticized the Protestant Christian Zionists who don't look like Protestants I know. And then you've got you've got the Vatican promoting gun control in this country and open borders, large sections of it. I mean, I've got a lot of issues with all of this. I mean, I actually study what each country does. Wayne Madsen, you've heard the gestalt I've thrown out here, just what I'm thinking about here, what's in my heart. It's a mess and a tribal fight that I don't have a dog in, is what I'm saying. And there's a bunch of different propagandists involved, but I don't ever hear all these Israel bashers saying one word about Saudi Arabia and ISIS because they almost always endorse anything Islamic. I mean, it's very bizarre. And then meanwhile, I see no anti-Israel criticism of Netanyahu tacitly endorsing ISIS last month. And then when I criticize that, they go on YouTube and say, shut up, Israeli operative, we're going to kill you and all the Jews. Well, they use a different word for it. And I'm not even Jewish, but then I say, fine, if you are obsessed with me being Jewish, I am Jewish. You see what I'm saying? I am so sick of the mental illness, the shallowness of the public's political understanding.